Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global TV. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson, now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has called for the establishment for a regional counter-terrorism center that will serve as a hub for intelligence sharing, operational coordination and capacity building throughout Africa. Speaking at the African High-Level Meeting on Counter-Terrorism in Abuja, the president emphasized the need for a comprehensive approach to combating terrorism, not only through military might, but addressing the root causes, including poverty, inequality, and social injustice. In a statement by the special advisor to the president, Ajurin Galale, the president further stressed the importance of cutting off the financial lifelines that fuel terrorist activities, such as ransom payments and illegal mining operations. The scheduled hearing in the appeal filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in the Court of Appeal Abuja Division to set aside the Kogi State Court order restraining the anti-graft agency from arresting, detaining and persecuting the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, was stalled on Monday. Recall that a Kogi State High Court Judge I.A. Jamil, in a ruling on Wednesday, April 17th, restrained the EFCC from arresting, detaining and persecuting Bello. Dissatisfied with the restraining order, the EFCC approached Justice Emeka Iwete of the Federal High Court in Abuja for an arrest warrant to enable them to arraign Bello, which was issued. The federal government has launched the guidelines on safe motherhood, targeting at least 7 million pregnant women and at least 6 million newborn births annually. Speaking at the launch of the guidelines, the Labor Care Guide and the guidelines for community use of Mispritol to commemorate the 2024 Safe Motherhood Day in Abuja, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, noted that it is possible to achieve safe motherhood in the country. Pate noted that healthcare is part of President Bola Tinubu's key agenda. He says the approved 25 billion naira from the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, 25 billion naira through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the National Health Insurance Authority gateways to ensure quality healthcare, reducing maternal mortality, access to basic emergency obstetric care, comprehensive emergency obstetric care, and availability of necessary commodities for safe delivery. Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, PCN, has achieved its effort to redress the training of pharmacy support professionals, pharmaceutical technologists in the country. By abolishing a certificate in the country, PCN has over 2 decades made efforts to stop the training of pharmaceutical technologists by Nigerian polytechnics and other institutions outside the control and supervision of schools or colleges of health education, whose programs and training are not duly regulated by the National Pharmaceutical Administrative Body. According to the contents of the MOU, PCN and NBTE agreed to accredit and train qualified candidates only by national diploma in pharmacy technicians in approved institutions in the country. By this development, pharmaceutical technology, a 2-year program offered by some polytechnics and other institutions not supervised or regulated by the PCN, have been scrapped. Over now to Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa of Ondo State has secured the nomination of the All Progressive Congress APC for the forthcoming November 16th governorship election. Following his declaration as the party's candidate, Aiyedatiwa clinched the nomination with a resounding victory, amassing a total of 48,569 votes in the primaries. His closest contender, Muyiwa Akinfolorin, trailed behind with 15,343 votes, while Chief Olushola Oke secured the 3rd position with 14,865 votes. The announcement was made by the chairman of the Governorship Primary Election Committee, Governor of Kogi State, Ahmed Ododo. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has activated a multi-partner, multi-sectorial incident management system to coordinate response efforts at all levels through the Emergency Operations Center. The NSDC said the move became necessary because it recorded 5,669 suspected cases of Lassa fever, resulting in 152 deaths, equating to a case fatality rate, CFR, of 18.3%. The center noted that 832 cases have been confirmed across 29 states and 126 local government areas from January to April 14th. Adding that person-to-person transmission and laboratory infections can occur especially in healthcare settings, lacking adequate infections prevention and control measures. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NSCDC, has so far confirmed 8 deaths and over 208 suspected new cases following an outbreak of a new strange illness in Sokoto State. Ibrahim Usman, the manager of the center, said it is an interactive session with officials of the State Ministry of Health that the incident happened in Sabon Birni and Isa local government area of the state. He also said prompt measures were taken by the NSCDC and the state government to control the spread of the yet-to-be-identified disease, as samples were taken to NSDC laboratories for analysis. He stated that the illness manifested with symptoms of abdominal disorder, feverishness, vomiting, and sudden weight loss. Gabriel urged the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, do the needful with a view to identifying the curtailing the contained spread of disease to other areas of the state. The NSDC has so far deployed the National Rapid Response Team, NRRT, to work with the Ministry of Health to further investigate the matter. Troops of Operation Lake Sanity 3 under Operation Hadikei have reportedly discovered an Islamic State West African province ISWAP terrorist bread production factory hidden under their den in Musani, Timbuktu Triangle, Damboa local government area of Borno State. According to intelligence sources quoted by security analysts and counterinsurgency experts, Zanganzola Makama, the combined troops of 199 Special Forces Battalion, in conjunction with hybrid forces and civilian JTF Joint Task Force, stumbled upon the bread factory during an explosion mission into the terrorist hideout. The sources said that the factory was destroyed, while items recovered include 2 Lister generating plants, 1 baking machine, and several baking materials. The Nigerian Labour Congress gave a strong indication that it would press for the inclusion of a clause which would prescribe sanctions for governors and local government administrators who fail to implement the new minimum wage. The National Treasurer of NLC, Hakeem Ambali, who disclosed this in an interview in Abuja, says the refusal of state governors to pay the current minimum wage was a result of lack of punitive measures in the Minimum Wage Act of 2019. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, through his Vice President Kashim Shettima, had on January 30, 2024, inaugurated a 37-member panel of new minimum wage. With his membership cutting across federal and state governments, the private sector, and organized labor, the panel is to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. 2 suspected Boko Haram individuals identified as improvised explosive device IED experts, 19-year-old Abubakar Mohammed alias Garba and 13-year-old Babagana Modu, have laid down their arms and surrendered to troops of the Sector 3 Multinational Joint Task Force MNJTF, Mongonu in Borno State. The surrender marks a non-table success in an ongoing campaign to dismantle Boko Haram's operations in the region. This was disclosed in a press statement signed by the Chief Ministry of Public Information of MNJTF in Jamena, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi. Several rainstorms have left 40 communities without power in Ogun State following extensive damage to electrical infrastructure in the area. The development has disrupted daily life and hardship on residents. The storm, which struck around midday, accompanied by rains, resulted in numerous fallen electricity poles and damaged installations, particularly in the areas of Sangota and Mowe in the state. The damage has caused a widespread blackout affecting multiple communities, the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC, reported. Further illustrating the storm's impact, a video making rounds on social media shows fallen poles lying on vehicles in the flood-hit Sangota area, underscoring the severity of the storm's effect on the community's infrastructure. You're watching News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using the Global TV engine and the handles down showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, Naira tumbles to 1,234 Naira to a dollar at official market. Speculators resume hoarding. This and other more stories coming right after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of News Cycle. Thank you for staying with us. Over now to our foreign desk, the Israeli military says the chief of its intelligence directorate has resigned after taking responsibility for failures leading to the unprecedented October 7th attack by Hamas. Major General Hassan Alevia is the first high-ranking official to step down for failing to prevent the attack that shocked Israel and the international community. Major General Hassan Alevia, is coordination with the Chief of General Staff, has requested to end his position following his leadership responsibility as the head of Intelligence Directorate for the event of October 7th. The Hamas attack resulted in the deaths of 1,170 people, mostly civilians, according to the AFP tally based on official Israeli figures. Since then, Israel has vowed to eliminate Hamas and is engaged in a blustering assault against the militant group which rules the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian Territories Health Ministry said 34,097 people have been killed in Israel's military campaign in Gaza, most of them women and children. The Kenyan Police Service has arrested fleeing Bernas executive Nadeem Ajawala as the International Criminal Police Organization moves to extradite him to Nigeria within the week. Following the development, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the International Criminal Police, the Nigerian Police Force, the Kenyan Police Service have deepened talks to quicken Ajawala's extradition. Now to our foreign table, foreign portfolio investment, PFI, into the stock market rose by 167.8% year on year to 118.92 billion naira in February 2024 from 44.52 billion naira in the corresponding period in 2023. Buoyed by improvised liquidity in the foreign exchange FX market following reforms by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, disclosed this in its domestic and foreign portfolio investment report by February 2024, which showed a 0.3 percentage point increase to 11.78% in share of FPI in the total equities transaction of 1,009 trillion naira during the period. Further analysis shows that year-to-date FPI inflow at 40.71 billion naira represents 37.9% of the total foreign investors' commitment, while outflow at 78.21 billion naira represents 62.1% of the foreign portfolio investment. Territorial rainfalls have led to the disappearance of 11 persons, with thousands of people evacuated in southern China, the state media reports. The intense rainfall affecting the Kongar province has swelled rivers and heightened fears of what could be a century's worst flooding scenario. A total of 11 people are missing after continuous heavy rainfall hits many parts of Guangdong in recent days. Reported June citing the local emergency management department in response to the escalating flood risk. Authorities have moved more than 53,000 people to safer locations throughout the province. In business, the naira depreciated in its value against the United States dollar to 1,234 naira at the official foreign exchange market on Monday, according to data obtained from FMDQ Securities Exchange. The exchange rate means the naira fell by 65 naira or 5.26% from 1,169.99 naira to a dollar recorded on Friday. The local currency had straightened to around 1,072.74 naira on Wednesday, as traders projected the naira could trade below 1,000 naira to a dollar for the first time. The Central Bank of Nigeria has resumed the sale of foreign exchange to Bureau d'Change operators. To its latest move, the Apex Bank is selling to them at an exchange rate of 1,021 naira per dollar. Additionally, the CBN has directed BDCs to limit their sales to an amount not exceeding 1.5% above the purchase price. The presidency has said it is set to launch about 2,700 compressed natural gas-powered buses and tricycles before May 29th, when President Bola Tinubu turns 1 year in office. It was the federal government who was set to deliver 100 conversions workshops and 60 refueling sites spread across 18 states before the end of 2024. The special advisor to the President's Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, revealed this in a statement he signed on Sunday titled Presidential Initiative Set for Rollout. From the end of May, Nigeria will take some baby steps to join such nations that already have large fleets of CNG vehicles. President Bola Tinubu has sounded the alarm over the inextricable link between illegal mining operations and the financing of terrorist activities across Africa, addressing regional leaders at a high-level counter-terrorism summit in Abuja. Tinubu urged the international community to take concrete actions to halt the inflow of funds from outside the continent that enables such illicit activities. Tinubu highlighted the complex challenge facing the continent as it grapples with the evolving tactics employed by terrorist organizations to continuously finance and re-equip themselves. He underscored the urgency of tackling this issue head-on through international cooperation and straightened regional mechanisms. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has sealed an Abuja-based Chinese supermarket for barring Nigerians and restricting entry to Chinese nationals. The commission, which summoned the owner of the supermarket along Airport Road to appear before it, said it would deploy regulatory tools against the management. The commission gave the directive following discreet investigations and inquiries from complaints by Nigerians alleging discriminatory practices. If found wanting, the operator of the supermarket risks sanctions, according to officials. Power distribution companies in Nigeria are currently being unbundled along state lines due to their large size that often results in efficiency and ineffectiveness, the federal government declared. It stated that the privatization of the firms will not be reversed, but stressed that the discos would be broken into more efficient structures along state lines so as to be able to deliver on their mandates. This came as the federal government has ordered the sale of discos that have been taken over by banks and the asset manager corporation from its original investors/owners. Currently, 4 discos are under the management of banks and APCON. The federal government, through the Nigerian Shippers Council, has stated that it will mandate port service providers and users to register on the council's online portal by the third quarter of 2024. The Executive Secretary of NSC, Pius Akuta, disclosed this during a sanitization program for stakeholders on the registration of regulated port service providers and users of the Council's headquarters in Lagos. He reiterated the importance of adherence to the online registration requirements by all service providers in the port, adding that it was in line with the duty of the Council as enshrined in Section 4 of NSC's regulation of 2015. The NSC boss highlighted the evaluation of payment processes from manual to automated system within the Council and underscored the benefits of registration. He emphasized the mandatory nature of registration, warning that non-compliant entitles would face stern consequences. In sports, the Nigerian boxing sensations Adam Olore, Joseph Omole, and Cynthia Ogunsemelore are gearing up to script history for Nigeria at the Paris 2024 Olympics by aiming for the nation's first ever gold medals in boxing. The journey to the pinnacle of Olympic glory began with a remarkable showing at the African Olympic boxing qualifiers in Dakar, Senegal in 2023, where they clinched gold medals in their respective weight categories. Securing their tickets to the Paris Games, Ogunsemelore set the stage alight with a commanding victory over Algeria's Sheikh Hardeja, securing the Nigerians' first gold medal of the tournament in the women's 60 kg category. Omole followed suit with a dominant display against Ethiopia's Lita Yadesa in the men's 57 kg category, clinching another gold for Nigeria. Wilfred Ndidi is one of the brinks of matching his personal best goal tally in a single season when he makes his 30th championship appearance for Leicester City against Southampton. Ndidi recently notched his 5th goal of the season on his 27th appearance for the club in a thrilling 2-1 victory over West Bromwich Albion in a Midlands derby last Saturday, which helped propel Leicester to the top of the English Championship table. The 27-year-old midfielder currently ranked 3rd in assets of the club with 6. He found the back of the net 5 times in 33 appearances across all competitions this campaign. And that's it on News Cycle, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms by using a Global TV engine and the handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.